Hello everybody, I am Sliman. I'm glad to run the lesson for today. It's about grammar, but my focus will be on, as you can see, verbs followed by infinitive, verbs followed by gerund, which is verb plus ing, and collocation. Well, let's get started. Read these sentences and look at the colored words. He asked me to read these sentences. Number one, he asked me to read these sentences. Sentence number two, let them think twice before they answer. Let them think twice before they answer. Third sentence, what would you like us to do for you? What would you like us to do for you? Sentence number four, don't try to climb up the tree. Don't try to climb up the tree. Now, can you think of examples of verbs followed by infinitive? Can you think of examples of verbs followed by infinitive? All right. Now, let's see a few examples to forget. Example, she forgot to pay the rent this month. She forgot to pay the rent this month. To want. For example, I want to teach you this. I want to teach you this. To expect. For instance, we expect to meet you tomorrow. We expect to meet you tomorrow. Now, read these sentences. Look at the verbs followed by ing, which is gerund. So, you remember, gerund is a verb plus ing. Sentence number one. Keep thinking about infinitives and gerunds. Keep thinking about infinitives and gerunds. Sentence number two. I regret being late to the interview. I regret being late to the interview. Sentence number three. She loves telling stories. She loves telling stories. Fourth sentence. You spent enough time reading these sentences. You spent enough time reading these sentences. Now, for a few seconds, look at the sentences again. Look at keep is followed by gerund, which is think plus ing. Same thing with regret, being, be plus ing. And same place, love, telling, spent, reading. All right. Now, can you think of verbs followed by gerund? Can you think of verbs followed by gerund? Example, to avoid. For instance, Elias avoids traveling by train. Elias avoids traveling by train. Another example, to finish. For instance, you have almost finished studying gerunds. Look at finished, followed by study plus ing, gerund. To appreciate. For example, I appreciate talking to you. I appreciate talking to you. So appreciate followed by talk plus ing, which is gerund form. Now these are a few examples of verbs followed by infinitive. Of course, these are not all, but some of them. To agree. To seem. To hope. To learn, to promise, to decide, to prepare, to choose, to plan, to would like, to want, to pretend. Now look at these verbs for a few seconds. Might even take some of them down, write them down. So these are verbs followed by infinitive, always. Now, verbs followed by gerund, which is like verbs followed by verb plus ing, gerund form. To enjoy, to give up, to dislike, to appreciate, to miss, to keep, to imagine, to mind, to avoid, to finish. Again, this set of verbs are followed by gerund, which is like I enjoy, for example, doing something. I enjoy teaching English. Okay? We can never say like I enjoy to teach English. Same place with the other verbs. And here is again a set of verbs that may be followed by both infinitive and or gerund. To start, to begin, to forget, to try, to continue, to regret, to like, to remember, to prefer, to love, to hate, to stop. Take a few seconds, look at them closely. Might even want to take notes. So as I said, these verbs may be followed by both, either infinitive or gerund, with a slight difference in meaning, of course. Now let's take a few exercises. Let's start with exercise number 1. Multiple choice. Choose the correct verb form in the following sentences. Choose the correct verb form in the following sentences. Sentence 1. Jamal enjoys to read novels. Only one verb is correct. One verb form is correct. Same thing with sentence number 2. The doctor said he must give up to smoke or smoking. The doctor said he must give up to smoke or smoking. Sentence number 3. She seems to like or liking poetry. Only one is correct depending on the verb that's maybe followed by either gerund or infinitive. Number 4. He has decided to write or write in a book. He has decided to write or write in a book. Think about the correct answer. Number 5, they are preparing coming or to come over next week. They are preparing coming or to come over next week. Take a few seconds. Now think it over. Look at sentence number 1. Sentence number 2. 3. Look at the 4th one. And the 5th sentence. Okay, are you done? Let's see the correction. Sentence 1. Jamal enjoys to read novels. So what's your answer? What do you think? Jamal enjoys reading novels. Jamal enjoys reading novels. So it's verb enjoy that determines which form of verb is to be followed with. Is it gerund or infinitive? So as you can see, enjoy is followed by a gerund. Let's see sentence number 2. The doctor said he must give up. What is it, to smoke or smoking? Your answer is, the doctor said he must give up smoking. Correct. Again, number 3, she seems to like or liking poetry. What's your answer? She seems to like poetry. She seems to like poetry. Sentence number 3. He has decided to write or write in a book. Your answer? He has decided to write a book. He has decided to write a book. So verb decide is mainly followed by infinitive, to write a book. 5th sentence. They are preparing to coming over next week. They are preparing to come or coming over next week. The correct answer is, think about prepare. Prepare, what is it, followed by gerund or infinitive to the best of your knowledge? They are preparing to come over next week. They are preparing to come over next week. Exercise number 2. Fill in the blanks with the correct form. Fill in the blanks with the correct form. I think this reminds you of your baccalaureate exam sheets. Let's see sentence 1. Jamal is starting, what is it? A, to learn, B, learning, or C, both. So Jamal is starting, what is it, to learn, learning, or both Japanese. So verb start will determine which verb form it's gonna be followed with. Let's see sentence number 2. Amina loves, what is it, living, B, to live, or C, both, which means living or to live in Khamisat. She has been living there for years. Read the sentence again. Right. Now, sentence number 3, I would love A, living, B, to live, or both, C, to live and living. So I would love in London, but it's too expensive. Sentence 4, Tom loves A, living, B, to live, or C, both, living and or to live in smaller towns. So Tom loves in smaller towns. 5th sentence, Ali continued to take, B, taking, or C, both, kickboxing lessons even though he broke his knee. Ali continued to take, taking, or both, kickboxing lessons even though he broke his knee. So it's the verb continue again here that decide which verb it's gonna be followed with again. Now let's correct these couple of sentences. Let's start with sentence 1. Jamal is starting. You remember the choices? A, to learn, B, learning, or C, both Japanese. Your answer is Jamal is starting to learn Japanese. Jamal is starting to learn Japanese. Right. So it's verb start that decide which verb form is to be followed with. Is it to learn or learning? So here start is followed by infinitive. Second sentence. Amina loves, choices are A, living, B, to live, or C, both in Khamisat. She has been living there for years. The right answer is, do you remember love? What did we say? Love is followed by gerund, living. Amina loves living in Khamisat. She has been living there for years. Amina loves living in Khamisat. She has been living there for years. Sentence 3, I would love. The choices A, living, B, to live, or C, both in London, but it's too expensive. Is it the same case with you? Now let's see. I would love to live in London, but it's too expensive. I would love to live in London, but it's too expensive. Number 4, Tom loves A, living, B, to live, C, both in smaller towns. The right answer is Tom loves both in smaller towns. Tom loves living in smaller towns, and Tom loves to live in smaller towns. Fifth sentence, Ali continued A, to take, B, taking, C, both kickboxing lessons even though he broke his knee. What's your answer? Ali continued both, right? Kickboxing lessons even though he broke his knee, right? Ali continued to take kickboxing lessons even though he broke his knee. And we can say even Ali continued taking kickboxing lessons even though he broke his knee. Now, second part of my lesson for today has to do with collocations. First, let's see what is collocation. This is a definition of collocation. Collocation is defined as a sequence of words or terms which always expectedly match together. What do we mean here by always expectedly match together is when you hear the first parts of the collocation, then you think automatically and expectedly about the second part without even maybe sometimes hearing it or before even hearing it. These are a few examples of collocations. Non-formal education, receive an education, educational system, sustainable development. And sustainable development, by the way, is one of the themes that is scheduled in second year baccalaureate. Cultural background, higher education, basic needs, school subject. This is most familiar with students. Pay attention. This is a common collocation too. Note-taking, boarding school, and mixed classes. Right, now let's do an exercise that has to do with collocation. Fill in the blanks with the correct collocation. 1. Gender discrimination disappears in A, boarding school, B, mixed classes, or C, higher education. So gender discrimination disappears in boarding school, mixed classes, or higher education. Move on to the second sentence. Students should A, pay attention, B, receive an education, or C, note-taking to better understand the lesson. Students should pay attention, receive an education, or note-taking to better understand the lesson. 3. Education guarantees A, equal opportunities, B, note-taking, or C, school subjects. This is a smaller sentence, so we just move on to the fourth one. English has always been my A, higher education, B, favorite subjects, or C, mixed classes. Now let's correct. Sentence 1, gender discrimination disappears in boarding school, mixed classes, or higher education. The right answer is, gender discrimination disappears in mixed classes. Number 2, students should A, pay attention, B, receive an education, or C, note-taking to better understand the lesson. Your answer is good. Students should pay attention to better understand the lesson. Students should pay attention to better understand the lesson. 3. Education guarantees A, equal opportunities, B, note-taking, C, school subjects. Education guarantees equal opportunities. Education guarantees equal opportunities. 4. English has always been my A. Higher education, B. Favorite subject, C. Mixed classes. I think this is the easiest one to do, right? Isn't it? Yeah. The right answer is English has always been my favorite subject. English has always been my favorite subject. Now, can you think of words that may go with school, that may match and form collocation with school? Of course, maybe some of you have already some in mind. Now, let's see. School. What can we say, for example? We can say school bag, school subject, school program or curriculum, school uniform, school day, school supplies. Of course, this spider may be even further developed, adding like new words that might form, collocations with the word school. But to name just but a few, well, now I'm arriving to the end of my class. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.